Yeah, so it did. It took me a long, long time to be able to get a child, because I didn't want to pass on this legacy, you know. I'll tell you also the other thing about me. In South Africa, apartheid government called me a colored. So another thing about growing up in a colored area is I am not able to speak an African language. You know, so I look the part. But when it comes to functioning, I become this contradiction, you know, where you find somebody looking as African as I do, and then you say kunjani sisi, and I can't go further than that, you know. So I am thankful that my Creator has enabled my son to speak Zulu. My child can speak Zulu, so that is a relief for me. That at least one African language, that at least I broke that cycle, you know. So it helps a little in that way. His name also, you know, he's got a Hebrew name, and then that becomes another contradiction, you know, because a seemingly contradiction, I won't call it a contradiction, because if we accept the scientific fact that life began in Africa, that the first form of human life as it is known was an African woman. It's me. Serious. I claim that. I claim it, and I think in my clothing, I want to celebrate it more, you know. I actually want to create products that celebrate the fact that life began in Africa, that everything following is from here, so it is ours. That is why I claim everything in the world. I do, because it's my child. If I was the first one there, everything following is mine, and I claim it. So when my child's name is Baruch, I love it. I love it. And any white Jew looking at me and questioning me, then I send them back. Then I let them know, seriously, my sister, the first university in the world was in Africa. Why don't we celebrate it? You know, so it makes me a little annoyed at how we as Africans don't celebrate our greatness, how we get drawn into petty things. You know the story of colonialism, how the land was sold for trinkets. Yeah, it's still being. We're still selling our souls for trinkets called money, trinkets called cell phones, computers, things that we think is essential, but it's not, you know. We don't teach our children things like life began in Africa, Lucy. You know, when I saw that movie called Lucy, and they showed a blonde white woman, it's just like, okay, it's another way of hijacking African legacy, but I take it back. I really do. What is mine, what is rightfully mine, and I'll tell you, I've gone beyond that. It's not mine, it's ours. It's ours, because one thing I have seen about being African, sissy, we have big hearts, huge hearts, forgiving souls, you know, so much so that, as I say, if life began in Africa, if I was the first in creation, everything else following is me. So why shouldn't I love them? Why shouldn't I forgive them? You know, I'll tell you, my dad was killed horribly. My dad was necklaced People put a tire around him and killed him while he was alive. I don't want to cry. I've cried enough. I'll tell you what helped me. When I came back for my father's funeral, my mom was rumored to have said that she prays for forgiveness in the hearts of her children, you know. So we are able to forgive. We are able to forgive. If the rest of the world considers that stupid, and they consider it a reason to oppress us more, more's the shame. More's the shame. And I'll tell you,
they're actually disgrading our cultures, showing that our cultures actually don't mean anything. Africans need culture.